All right, let's talk about a company that has been, well, absolutely on fire in the markets. It's a name that used to be whispered about in spy agencies, but now it's being shouted from the rooftops on Wall Street. Yep, we're talking about Palantir. And if you're wondering why all the buzz, well, this number pretty much says it all. In just the last year, Palantir's stock has shot up over 130%. I mean, a jump like that doesn't just happen by accident. It tells you something big has changed in how the market looks at this company. Which, of course, brings us to the big question we're tackling today. How on earth did this super secretive spy tech company, the one known for its shadowy work with governments, suddenly become Wall Street's new AI superstar? How did that happen? Well, to really get it, we need to pop the hood and see how Palantir was built in the first place. Trace their journey from those classified contracts in the shadows right into the bright spotlight of the commercial world. Okay, so the whole operation, really, it's built on four key pillars, four big platforms. It all kicked off with Gotham. That's their legendary tool for defense and intel. Think counterterrorism stuff. Then they built Foundry, which is designed to help huge companies basically create a digital twin of their entire business. Apollo, that's the engine underneath it all, making sure the software runs anywhere, anytime. And finally, you have AIP. That's the new kid on the block. And it's all about plugging generative AI right into a company's operations. And this is really the key takeaway here. All those years working with Gotham, handling the most sensitive, most complex government data on the planet, that gave them this incredible battle-tested expertise. They figured out how to make data work under insane pressure. And now they've taken all that know-how and made this brilliant pivot to catch the massive commercial AI wave. Which leads us right to the growth engine itself, the one thing that's really driving this whole transformation, the single product that's rewriting the entire story for Palantir. And that engine, it's called AIP, their artificial intelligence platform. Now, what's so interesting is that Palantir isn't trying to build the next ChatGPT. No, that's not their game. Instead, AIP is like a universal adapter. It lets companies take these super powerful large language models, or LLMs, the tech behind tools like ChatGPT, and securely plug them right into their own private data, their own workflows, to make decisions on the fly. But here's the thing. The tech is amazing, for sure, but it's not the whole story. Not even close. Their real secret weapon, the thing that's really fueling this crazy growth, is how they sell it. They've got this thing called the AIP Bootcamp. So forget your typical 9-month sales pitch. Instead, Palantir sends its engineers right into a company, they find a real problem, and they build a working AI solution for it in, get this, a matter of days. They prove the value right there, right then. It's basically try before you buy on jet fuel, and it's just completely blowing up the old slow way of selling enterprise software.
So has this strategy actually worked? Oh, yeah. The numbers don't just speak for themselves, they shout. They paint a picture of just incredible, incredible growth. I mean, just take a look at this. This chart tells the whole story of the pivot. Their classic US government business, yeah, it grew a solid 19%. But look at the US commercial side, the part driven almost entirely by AIP, it just exploded. We're talking 111% growth. That right there is the AI engine firing on all cylinders. And then you see this number, 114%. So in the software industry, there's this really important benchmark called the Rule of 40. It's pretty simple. You take your revenue growth rate and add your profit margin. If it's over 40%, you're doing great. Well, Palantir's score is 114%. That's just an astronomical number. It signals a company that is operating at an absolutely elite level of both growth and efficiency. And it's not like they're slowing down. The signs for the future look just as strong. The total value of the contracts they're signing, up 151%. The pipeline of what's coming next from commercial customers, up almost 200%. And to top it all off, getting included in the S&P 500, that's a huge stamp of approval. It brings a whole new level of stability and big money institutional investors to the table. But, and this is a big but, all of this insane success, all of this promise for the future, it all leads to this one giant debate that just hangs over the company. And that is its sky-high, some would say eye-watering, valuation. This quote here really nails the problem. To justify the price tag the market has slapped on it today, Palantir pretty much has to maintain this breakneck pace of growth, we're talking 30 to 40% every year, for the next decade. The pressure to deliver on that is just immense. So this sets up this central argument, right? On one hand, you have the bulls. They're looking at this explosive AI-fueled growth, this unique company that dominates in both government and commercial spaces. But on the other hand, you have the bears. They're pointing to a forward PE ratio of 167, which is basically paying a massive premium for future hopes. And they see giants like Microsoft and Snowflake getting closer and closer in their rearview mirror. So when you strip everything else away, what are we left with? It's this. We're in a sea of AI hype right now. So many companies are promising what they're going to do. Palantir is one of the very, very few that is actually doing it. They are turning the promise of AI into huge real-world profits today, right now. Look, they've proven they can deliver. They're making real money from AI at a scale that almost nobody else is. So the only question that really matters, and it's the multi-billion-dollar question, is what is the right price to pay for that future?